Hello and welcome to another episode of Global Business Insights, where we bring perspectives by experts and senior analysts on the main business headlines. First, some good news. The business mood has brightened in the US as we see economic output just hitting its highest level since April 2022. The flash PMI data that came out to the US S&P Global Composite PMI Purchasing Managers Index in expansion up to 55.3 according to November's flash estimate from 54.1 in October. The S&P Global Manufacturing PMI improved to 48.8 from 48.5, but still in an ongoing contraction, while the services PMI carried the economy rose to 57 from 55. So we're seeing that strength coming from the services sector. European Preliminary Purchasing Managers Index, the numbers came in substantially below estimates in November. The composite PMI dropped to 48.1 from 50 in October and also showed both manufacturing and services sectors deeper in contraction. In the UK, business activity contracted in early November, with the Composite Purchasing Managers Index falling below expectation to 49.9 from 51.8 in October. UK November manufacturing PMI also slumped to 48.6 from 49.9, deeper into contraction, while services PMI declined to 50 from 52 the previous month. Amazon today said it would invest $4 billion more in Anthropic. That's the artificial intelligence startup founded by ex-OpenAI research executives. And at the 19th G20 Leaders Summit in Brazil, President Bola Tinubu welcomed the creation of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. Senior Business Analyst Lekan Sote, MD Publica, comments on this initiative. We also replay our earlier clip on the AI revolution with AI expert Niyi Tayo, who heads Verraki Technology Services.
The aim of the alliance is to accelerate global efforts to eradicate poverty and hunger by holding regular summits amongst its members. This is a sign of global recognition of the problem that is facing about 733 million members of humanity, according to President Lula. While supporting this initiative, President Bola Tinubu added that it agrees with one of the priorities that he set for Nigeria in his presidential inaugural speech in May 2023. The priority is to remodel, to quote him, is to remodel Nigeria's economy to bring growth and development through job creation, food security, and also put an end to extreme poverty in Nigeria. President Tinubu cannot just go abroad to agree with President Da Silva, but then fail to implement appropriate policies to achieve his own stated objectives. He must walk the talk of Da Silva and ensure that his policy choices and decisions do not exclude Nigerians from the good life. So far, the policies of his government have neither reduced poverty nor improved food security in Nigeria. Indeed, the reverse has happened. Failure of his government to provide appropriate policies to help Nigerians cope with his government's removal of fuel subsidy, electricity subsidy, the floating of the naira, and inability to secure the farms is disappointing, to say the least. It is therefore imperative for him to urgently find solutions to the immediate problems of high cost of living, unemployment, low industrial productivity, and imminent famine. One of his government's economic advisors, that is the International Monetary Fund, that typically flip-flops in his assessment of the Nigerian economy, recently suggested that Nigeria's economic reforms are failing to provide desired results. The president and his economic management team must urgently review their economic policy before the average Nigerian becomes an economically endangered species.
Nvidia is the bellwether for the tech industry and a barometer for progress of the artificial intelligence revolution. It announced record revenue of $35.1 billion, up 94% year over year, and earnings per share of $0.81, up 103% year on year. Both measures better than expected. Although Nvidia's revenue in Q3 rose better than expected, it was still at a slower pace than what we are used to seeing. Nvidia also said its next generation Blackwell chip is in hot demand and customers are queuing due to limited supply. The main driver of its business, the data center sector, which includes processors used for cloud computing, saw revenues up 112% year over year to $30.8 billion, driven by strong demand for artificial intelligence. Niyi Tayo currently leads the technology services for Verraki Partners. Prior to this, he was managing director for Accenture Technology in Nigeria. He has over 30 years of experience in architecting and delivering business and technology transformation initiatives across several industries. He comments on the artificial intelligence revolution.
According to UNDP, AI is predicted to add over 15 trillion to the world's GDP by 2030. And half of that is expected to come from productivity increase alone. What is AI, or artificial intelligence? AI is the capability of computer programs or machines to think, learn, and take actions without explicitly encoding commands in them. It's able to do this by ingesting large amounts of data and then discerning patterns in the data, such that it can then autonomously act and complete tasks that ordinarily human intelligence would do or complete. This is made possible by recent developments in technology such as the NLP, natural language processing. This is where computers are able to understand, manipulate, and interpret human language. Also, machine learning, and particularly deep learning capability. This is where computers are able to ingest large amounts of data and then make sense of it. And lastly, the huge amount of data that is in the world today through social media, smart devices that are prevalent everywhere. These technologies have ensured that AI application has exploded in the world today. And Africa can tap into this to increase its productivity. For example, in healthcare, medical practitioners can use the capabilities of AI to improve patient care, particularly in areas where there's limited medical practitioners. AI can be used for early diagnosis of diseases in patients by leveraging patient data and benchmarking it against models. AI can be used to manage contagious diseases. It can help in tracking and predicting the spread of contagious diseases. AI can be used in the public space. For example, government agencies can use AI to automate and expedite processes and services such that the delivery of such services are more effective and lead to better outcomes for citizenry. Policymakers in government can use AI through ingesting the huge amount of public data that is available. Thereby, issues and trends can be unearthed and discerned, and then the policymakers can use that to devise policies that are highly informed and citizen-centric. AI can be used in agriculture. in many ways. For example, for farmers in decision making, AI can help in predicting environmental factors such as weather conditions or even the spread of plant diseases. Thereby, farmers can then tweak their practices based on the information that has been provided. AI can be used for optimizing very scarce and expensive resources, for example, water or fertilizer. This application can help to increase agricultural yields and agricultural productivity, which according to World Bank can have huge impact on poverty reduction. There are many other uses of AI that Africa can tap into in retail sector, in financial services, in manufacturing, and others. Africa is making modest strides in harnessing AI capability, working with multilateral agencies and the private sector. For example, Africa is collaborating with UNDP to create an initiative called the AI Hub for Sustainable Development. This initiative has 4 foundational pillars. One is around data, making sure that Africa-centric data is available for AI models so that it can minimize bias that may be specific to Africa. This initiative has already digitalized 18 different African languages, and this would also help in using it for AI models. The second thing is around training and upskilling of Africans. The initiative is pushing hard to upskill young engineers on AI, and in addition, providing a platform for networking. Recently, there was a networking event that was held for over 380 different startups that are AI-centric. This allowed them to talk about the development in AI and how that can be used in Africa. Thirdly is using AI responsibly, such that it is able to respect African values, norms, and cultures. Lastly is the computing infrastructure that is used in AI. The initiative is trying to ensure that green considerations are put into such computing infrastructure. Verraki Partners is also helping from the private sector side, helping organizations to envision the application of AI in their organization, defining roadmaps, and also ensuring readiness of the organization to tap into AI. Lastly, helping to pilot and scale up such implementations. However, these initiatives are not enough. Africa needs to make AI pervasive in everyday life in Africa. Africa needs to massively educate its youth on AI technology. We need to embed AI in education curricula across all levels in African schools. Lastly, Africa needs to devise specific policy around churning out AI engineers in huge numbers so that we can ensure that African engineers are embedded in the fabric of AI development in the world.
European stocks were mostly up as investors reviewed a range of key regional PMI data points. In the US, stocks rose as investors also followed President-elect Donald Trump's efforts to build his team. Well, that's all we have on this episode of Global Business Insights. This is Bode Oshosami. Thanks for sharing on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And again, thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy the weekend.